Microphone on. Call to order the Sparks City Council meeting for Monday, March 27th with a roll call. Roll call.
Mayor Lawson.
Here.
Council members Abbott. Vanderwell.
Here.
Anderson.
Here.
Bybee. Dare.
Here.
City Attorney Duncan. City Manager Croots.
Here.
We have a quorum, thank you.
Okay, just for your edification, we have Councilman Abbott and Councilman Bybee are in DC for National League of Cities. National League of Cities, thank you. Representing Sparks for us at the Capitol. All right, Pastor Barb West. Where'd you go, Barb? There you are.
Mayor, would y'all bow your head with me? Our Heavenly Father, how thankful we are for our city council members. Thank you, Lord, for Mayor Lawson and all of these fine members. We pray that you would be with Charlene and Donald both in Washington, D.C. Help them to represent us well, and we're so thankful that they got to be there. And Lord, we thank you too for this special day when we will be installing our new fire chief, Chief White. Bless him and his endeavors, and please be with all of our first responders, Lord. Be with our firefighters and our police force and all of those EMT people. Keep them safe, keep our school children safe. And Lord, we pray that today's meeting will go well according to your plan under these great leaders that we've chosen to lead us in this wonderful city we call Sparks, Nevada. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Okay. Mr. Duncan, will you lead us in the pledge?
I will. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, moving on to public comment. Mr. Rock Cole. I was starting to get worried, Rock, you were running late. Good,
Been good, thank you. Am I allowed to answer that?
you're allowed. Okay, go ahead, Rock.
Good afternoon, City Council. My name is Rock Cole. I'm here to speak about the Five Ridges project that was appealed months ago. And in that meeting, a couple of you stated that you really didn't understand a lot of the things, and therefore you rely on your staff, your engineers, lawyers, the applicant, their engineer, and they all get unlimited time to sell you this project, and they all pretty much have skin in the game. Anybody opposed to that project gets 3 minutes. I don't think that's fair. That is why I don't think I've missed a city council meeting since then. I don't know how many. But I do think if I had the right amount of time, I could have explained all this to you at that meeting and showed you the videos so you could understand it more. I hope I'm getting through. I think some things, it's a major project, huge, 4 million yards of dirt being moved. And I think for the most part, it's sound. But I think there's a few things that are wrong. And I think obviously the thing that's impacting me the most is the slopes above my house draining straight down into my property is why I'm here. And I don't think the slope treatment is adequate. I think I'm gonna get damaged every time a big storm comes. In this year, I would have been damaged probably 4 different times. I don't think anybody here really realizes what muddy water can do to a yard, driveway, sidewalks. I don't think that if I pulled up to any of your houses with a 5-gallon bucket of muddy water and dumped it on your driveway, you would appreciate it. You'd have to wash it. You can't even sweep it. It just, even if it dries out, it just moves to a different spot. It needs to be washed. It's a major, major thing. And I would have thousands of gallons every time it storms coming into my yard. Christopher, you've been there. You've seen it. So I just hope that it's not too late to make the right decision and to riprap these slopes. They've got all the riprap in the world sitting literally a stone throw from those slopes. And your engineer has said it would be an eyesore. Well, you know, a dirt hill is an eyesore too, because Hydro-Seed doesn't seem to work in Nevada. I've showed you several pictures of DeAndrea, just dirt, 15 years. And the hydrologist presented a 3-page letter saying that the slopes would be stabilized once 70% is achieved. Your own engineer said that might be 5 years. So what do we do in 5 years? It needs to be adjusted.
Thank you, sir.
I thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right, anyone else in the public wishing to speak at this time? Seeing none, we'll move on to approval of the agenda. Mr. Anderson, we have a change.
Yes, sir. I move to approve the agenda with the updated code enforcement case number for item 9.7 to reflect SCMP 22-00766.
Okay. Ms. Vanderwell,
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. For you guys on the phone, please say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries unanimously. As you guys respond on the phone, they are entering your vote into the computer. So thank you. All right, looking for minutes, approval of the minutes. Mr. Dare,
I move to approve the minutes of the Spark City Council meeting for March 13th, 2023, and the Spark City Council Budget Workshop for February 27, 2023.
Ms. Vanderwell,
Second.
got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
Aye.
2 ayes from Bybee and Abbott. Motion carries unanimously. 7.1, presentation of the 2023 United Hispanic Leadership Institute National Conference.
Give me 1 second, I'll have it up on the board for you too, okay? Thank you. You're welcome. And if you just hit the enter key, it'll just go to the next screen, okay?
Okay, thanks. Good afternoon. Thank you for having us. My name is Carla Hernandez, Dr. Carla Hernandez. I'm the Director of Hispanic Latinx Community Relations at the University of Nevada, Reno. It's a brand-new position, thanks to the new president that we have, President Sandoval. I collaborate closely with the Latino Research Center, Dr. Jafet Sanchez here to my right, and I serve as the advisor for the Latino Student Advisory Board at the university. So we have a couple students from the advisory board here who will tell you about their experience at the United States Hispanic Leadership Institute. This was a trip that they were able to take. Thank you to the, in part to the support from the city of Sparks. It's an extremely, extremely valuable experience. And I can say that because I had the fortune of accompanying the students. I was their chaperone, and I myself feel like it was something that every student should get to experience in their lifetime. So we're here to thank you, and the students will have the opportunity to tell you a little bit more. And I look forward to continuing to develop relationships with the city of Sparks and the region, as I grew up in the Sparks area. So I'm a proud former Sparks resident, because now I live in Reno, but thank you. I know, sorry. It's okay. I still spend most of my time in Sparks, as my mom still lives down the road. So thank you so much
Hold that
again.
against you.
And again, thank you, Dr. Sanchez, for making this possible for our students, and to you all, thank you.
You.
Good afternoon, distinguished members. On behalf of the Latino Student Advisory Board, we would like to extend our deep gratitude to the City of Sparks council members for sponsoring our trip to attend the United States Hispanic Leadership Institute National Conference in Chicago. We would also like to take this time to thank you for the opportunity to speak in front of you today about our advisory board and the growing Latino community in Nevada.
Our agenda will be going over the student introductions, Latino Student Advisory Board, the Usually Trip Experience, and the growing Latino community in Nevada.
To start off, my name is Angelica Posadas. I was born in California, raised in Mexico and rural Nevada. I'm a graduate of Battle Mountain High School, first generation college student, and I will be graduating this December. I am a dual major in political science and criminal justice and hope to go to law school someday to become an immigration attorney. I'm also the current vice president of the Latino Student Advisory Board.
All right, my name is Dennis Garcia. Born in Panorama City, raised in San Fernando Valley, but I moved to Vegas about 5 years ago. I graduated from Nevada State High School, early college credit high school. I'm a first generation, I'm a sophomore, and I'm a double major with mathematics and education.
So, founded in 2007, the Latino Student Advisory Board works alongside university faculty, administration, and community leaders to empower and advocate on behalf of the Latino student body at UNR. We seek to enhance the Latino community in Nevada through public outreach, academic excellence, and political movements. Dennis and I will go more into detail into some of the events LSAB has recently put on, but currently we are collaborating with UNR PD to hold a self-defense class, as well as a roundtable discussion with students.
As Angelica mentioned, these are a couple of events that we have hosted so far. Latinas Empower Professional Panel was an event organized by the LSAB. The organization have contacted several powerful Latina leaders, such as Dr. Mariluz Garcia, Cynthia Esparza, and Melissa Higaredo. And basically, they talked about their experiences as Latina leaders in their environment work. It also talked about networking skills. And of course, you can be, as Dr. Hernandez has once told me, she told me that you can be at the top of your class, but with no networking skills, it can only get you so far. And it also mentioned about professional skills as well. Thank you.
In collaboration with the Equal Opportunity and Title IX office, as well as UndocuPAC, LSAB hosted a Wings of Color paint night where we presented a variety of campus and community resources for our students. LSAB recognizes that undocumented and DACA students face additional political, financial, and cultural barriers to reaching higher education. As such, we work and advocate on behalf of these students to minimize some of these barriers and provide a safe space for these students to bring attention to specific university and community concerns.
Dia de los Muertos is a holiday where we honor the dead. It starts on November 1st and ends November 2nd. It started in Mexico, but it has been recognized throughout Latin America. And basically, the way we celebrate Dia de los Muertos is we build an altar, and we have items where the person that we're honoring have passed away, things that they cherished, and that's the way we honor them. About last year, on November 1st, we've also asked other organizations in UNR to make altars of people that they want to honor. And for our altar, we wanted to honor the Uvalde, the Texas Elementary Uvalde, the shooting that happened. And we wanted to honor all the students that passed away in that day. Yeah.
We will now be transitioning to talk about our experience at the USHLE conference. Pictured here are the LSAB members that attended, along with our wonderful advisor, Dr. Hernandez.
Our speakers. There were so many Latin and Hispanic leaders at the USHLE conference that brought to our attention, but there were some that stood out, and that goes to Gary Vasquez, Antonia Novello, and Roberto Santos. As I listened to these amazing leaders speak, it kind of reminded me of my mother, the way she would tell me and the way she would remind me every day. And I would say this in Spanish, but I will translate it in English. She said, Denis, pon atención, échale ganas y ponte las pilas. In English says, Dennis, pay attention. Give it your all, put in the work, so that the day of tomorrow will be a better day. As I was listening to them, and it just kind of reminded, and my mother, she passed away on October 16, 2021. and she passed away of COVID. So as I was, reminiscing and, thinking about my mother and looking at these leaders, I just told myself, if they can do it, that means that I can do it. And I want to be one day up there presenting, teaching the younger generation.
Also, I've had the great honor of hearing from dozens of influential Latino leaders throughout the country. We heard from many first-gen professionals on their experiences navigating their career paths and who offered professional development, communication, networking, and team leadership skills, which are vital to any professional field. We also heard from an amazing DEI panel and discussed the importance and benefits of having a diverse student body and workplace. One of the most influential panelists from the workshop that stuck out to me was Monica Diaz, who spoke of her early experiences in her career as the only Latina in her company, where she endured a lot of challenges and was frequently mocked for her accent, where at one point, a manager suggested that she take an accent reduction class to improve her chances of getting promoted. She ultimately refused, but it was through these experiences that Ms. Diaz found strength in her cultural identity and did not allow existing conditions to take away her identity and instead made these differences her strengths. LSUB members also attended the Somos Comunidad workshop that highlighted various evidence-based strategies that can be applied to the real world via stress management and self-care. The workshop highlighted the importance of taking care of yourself and your community, whether that be the Latino student body at UNR and or underrepresented communities.
These are a couple photos that we took with Gary Vasquez.
And then here we are pictured with Dr. Juan Andrade Jr. He is the current president of USHLI, and he's actually one of very picked few who have been recognized by the U.S. and Mexican government.
All right, the growing Latino community. As I was thinking about what should I say about this slide, I just thought about, well, I'm pretty sure all the councilmen and women want to hear about the facts. So therefore, Nevada is the third ethnically diverse state of the United States. 1/3 of Nevada state population is identified as Hispanic or Latino. 40% of the Nevada of K-12 students are Hispanic or Latino. And since I'm currently attending UNR, I'm in a program called Nevada Teach, and basically it teaches how to become a successful teacher. And I have had the privilege to gone to Sparks High School, Shaw, O'Brien, and more to come. And from what I've seen from all of these schools is about 50 to about 80% of the class are Hispanic/Latinos. And I guarantee you that it will continue to grow. And with the UNR population as well as 23 to 24, and as well, it will continue to grow.
As emerging young minority leaders, we feel it is important that all community members have the same access and equal opportunity to make their voices heard in local government. To do this, we believe it is important that the city prioritize inclusive community outreach, which can include establishing meaningful partnerships with community members and leaders of underrepresented communities, creating new modes of outreach and offering alternative event hours for those with busy work schedules, increasing language accessibility in the city's press releases, application forms, and other guides for non-English speaking community members. Oftentimes, it is not the case that community members do not want to be involved and active in local government. It's often the case that they do not have the ability to do so because of work schedule conflicts, childcare concerns, or language accessibility issues. Increasing the number of inclusive community outreach efforts will ensure more community members have the ability to voice their concerns to their elected officials, and in turn to help create a more equitable policymaking process. Are there any questions?
Questions from the council? Mr. Dare?
Yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for coming back and telling us about it, because sometimes we don't hear from anybody after we help them, so it's fantastic. And I'd say, are you guys planning to go, is this an every year thing? How does that function? And then also, I'd say this, and maybe this is even a future conversation, is there anything that you see here in Sparks that you guys want to be involved with that we can be listening to or paying attention to?
Yeah, so we do hope to continue going in future years. We hope to keep passing down that baton to other future members, continuing to open that door so more members can come. For me, one of the biggest things is language accessibility. So I would love to get any way that I can help or get more involved in that, making sure that community members have accessibility and to those forms and guides, and anything else that would make the process more equitable, I think would be good.
Another thing that I want to add to is that since I want to be a teacher. I'm not sure what grade level yet, but honestly, I'm open to anything. But from what I've seen, I wanted to add. There should definitely be more events at like Sparks High School, more like university opportunities. From what I've seen, I also seen that mainly like there's more military recruitment, if anything, and there should be like a little balance of university because I'm sure a lot of students would want to go to a university, but it's just sometimes the resources are not there. So just more events and more awareness for Latino and Hispanic students. Thank you.
Thank you
Mr.
for sharing.
Anderson.
Want to say thank you once again. I was able to hear this is the second time I got the presentation. They presented to our equity and inclusion group a little while back, and well done. I love the presentation. I love what you guys have done, and you're applying what you've learned on this adventure. So keep it up. And as I said before, City of Sparks would love to have both of you working for us. We do actually have attorneys. I hear he's going to retire someday, so. No, but really, we would love to have you stay in our community. I hope you enjoy this area as much as we do. Thank you very much for the presentation.
Anyone else? Ms. Vanderwell? You good? Well, thank you, guys. We appreciate you coming back to tell us about your experience. We love helping out for the education part, and we'll take your words to heart.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Wonderful day.
Yes.
Gracias.
Okay, I'm going to move on to 7.2. Administer the oath of office to the newly appointed Fire Chief Walt White. And I get to do this. Repeat after me. I state your name. Walter White. Do solemnly swear. That I will support, protect, and defend. The Constitution and government of the United States. The Constitution and government of the state of Nevada. Against all enemies. Whether domestic or foreign. And that I will bear true faith. And allegiance. And loyalty to the same. Any ordinance. Resolution or law. Of any state notwithstanding. And that I will well and faithfully perform. All the duties of the office of Fire Chief. On which I am about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations.
Well, first, I want to say I'm just honored and humbled to have this opportunity, and I'm very grateful to have members of my family here today. My wife, Amy, my son, Jack, several of my friends, too many to probably name all together, but that, honored me by coming here today, and I really do appreciate it. And, I commit to sustaining a work environment that is positive, healthy, and safe, an organizational culture that encourages engaged employees, and to manage with regard for the well-being of all staff. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Mr. Dare?
Are we going to take a picture with you?
If we can.
I'd like one.
All right. Will you bring your wife up here too, Walt, and we'll get a picture?
Our priorities here.
I do have to add that my daughter, although she's nearby, could not be here today because she has a midterm at UNR. That's more important than this. Thank you. All right. Now it's time to get to work, huh?
We want you to put that on your kitchen wall, that picture.
Exactly.
So,
A mural.
Okay. Yep. Now, if you guys don't want to stick around for the rest of the meeting, I'll understand if you want to leave now, which is okay. Okay, that was 90% of the audience just left. Okay, Tanya, I think you're down here for this, or, oh, is it Tony?
It's actually me, but I'd like the staff if you stand over there for me.
So we're acknowledgement of the 2022 Hometown Christmas Parade winners and Grand Marshal.
Oh, no,
Whoops,
skipped one.
Parks and Recreation staff, there we go. I crossed off the wrong one. Parks and Rec Staff Awards at the National Recreation and Park Society Annual Conference.
Yes.
Then we'll go to the hometown.
Then to hometown. Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, council members, Tony Pele, Parks and Recreation Director. I'm here to share with you some of our great staff in the Parks and Recreation Department that were recognized for their efforts. In February, they were at the Parks and Rec Society, the Nevada Parks and Recreation Society Annual Conference in Las Vegas. The NRPS is a nationally affiliated organization of the National Recreation and Parks Association, which is nationwide. It's dedicated to the advancement of recreation, parks, and leisure professionals. Our staff was recognized for a number of accomplishments and received awards in multiple categories. Tanya Ramachetti and Brittany Martinez received Program Excellence Awards in the Active Adult 55+ category for the Senior Prom, and in the Community or Neighborhood Special Event category for the Fall Into the Holidays Craft Fair. Brittany was also recognized as a Lead Institute Mentor for 2021 and 22. LEAD stands for Leadership, Excellence, Alliance, and Development. The NRPS LEAD Institute is an annual leadership development program for early, mid-career, and seasoned professionals. It provides participants and agencies with skill sets, competencies, and a growing expertise that improves leadership ability and fosters individual and organizational success. Sean Olson was recognized for being a board member at large for Northern Nevada, and Stephanie D'Arcy was sworn in as a board member at large for NRPS for the next 2 years. I just wanted to take the time and recognize their efforts and share it with all of you.
Very good. Paul?
Mr. Pele, would you mind actually introducing them to us?
Yes, this is Tanya Ramachetti, and she has one of the awards with her. Brittany Martinez, Sean Olson, and Stephanie D'Arcy.
Awesome. And I just want to say to all of you, you guys do a phenomenal job, whether it's the events to the older groups in town, the younger groups. I'm just so proud of the work you guys do, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I was at the marina this weekend and just seeing the families enjoying the park. But it doesn't just stop there at the marina. You go to Para or the others, and it's just amazing. And it's a lot to do with the work you guys are doing. And I want to say thank you so very much. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Mr. Dare? No?
Good job.
Well,
Thank you.
I'm just gonna say, it was kind of fun this weekend. I was at the Nevada Veterans Memorial Plaza too for the Vietnam Veterans Remembrance. And one of the moms of one of your bowlers came up to me and said, I gotta tell you how much my daughter loves seeing it when the elected officials come over to watch them bowl. So you guys are touching lives in a big way, and I really want to thank you for that too.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Okay, I will say one thing then.
all right. I
Well,
knew it couldn't exist.
I know, you got me going. Well, I just want to say that, we get to do a lot of this stuff, but you guys like get to be the face and the hands, and a lot of our staff get to do that. But in this area, creating a place that families want to be is so crucial, and a lot of what you bring to the table is that. So thank you. It's just so important. So even though this guy's heading out, stick around for a long time. We need you all there, and don't use the word retirement. I know he's going to be golfing soon, but good job.
I'm not counting, but
I know.
it's all a credit to them. They've put in the work, they've put in the effort. They've come up with the ideas, they volunteer for these positions. No one had to tell Brittany, you have to go do the LEAD Institute. She volunteered for that. The staff, they might have been voluntold to sign up for the board member positions, but they've done it willingly and enjoyed it. And the programs that they put together that won awards, that's on them. It wasn't anything I did. They came up with those ideas themselves, so the credit all goes to them.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Julie would like to take a photo of all of you. Hold on. Your plaque's upside down. Thank you.
Well, Tony, are you doing the awards for the Hometown Christmas Parade?
No.
Oh, that's up next, 7.4.
Good afternoon, Mayor Lawson and council members. I'm Raquel Montserrat, your special events supervisor, and I'm here to present to you the 2022 Christmas Parade winners. So, if I can make the slide change. The winner for Best Business Group is Bonanza Casino. The winner for Best Animal Group was Silver Knolls Spurs 4-H Club.
Wait, hold on one minute.
We lost our big board in the back.
Big
of the
screen's
room.
gone.
So we're calling on IT.
There.
Okay. For Best Community Group, we had a tie between Ha August Nights and Sons and Daughters of Aaron. For Best Performing Group, we had a tie between Danza Guadalupana and Danza Azteca Guadalupana. And Best Overall was Silver Knolls Spurs 4-H Club. We'd like to recognize our Grand Marshal, the 2023 Nevada Teacher of the Year, Miss Connie Hall, who is a teacher at Dietrichson Elementary School. And I would also like to acknowledge our volunteer groups, Living Stones Church, Boys and Girls Club of Truckee Meadows, and Hot August Nights, and our parade sponsors, Nugget Casino Resort, Silverwing Development, and Rail City Casino. In addition, I'd like to give a special thanks to Emily Pate, Colleen Moran, Jackie Martinez, and Doug Formaster for helping with staging and check-in at the Christmas parade. And a huge thank you to Casey Bond, Charlie Burns, and the Public Works team for building the Sparks City Council float.
By the way, that thing was solid.
It was great,
It
right?
was not gonna come apart.
Well, that's it. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. And I have someone here from the Sons and Daughters of Aaron to say a couple of words. Come on down. Give us your name for the record, please. So, face up.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Hey, those two guys are standing right there.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, City Council members. My name is Willie Poochert of West Sparks, and I am president of the Sons and Daughters of Aaron, Northern Nevada's nonprofit Irish Heritage organization. I am joined by my two fellow members, Michael Del Ostia and Cami Harris. I am speaking on this item because we are one of the winners of the Best Community Group Awards in the Sparks Christmas Parade in December. I would like to inform you that our float, which was built under the leadership of my colleague Michael here, is one of the reasons why we believe we won this award, and it is for that reason and several other contributions to our organization, we awarded him our Irish Person of the Year at the dinner, at our dinner earlier this month. Additionally, having Doyle Stewart performing on our float and having these wonderful Irish wolfhounds march with us surely helped. Sadow has participated in your parade for over 35 years and is one of our annual traditions. Another tradition we would like to inform you about is our Blanchfield Memorial Ceremony, where we spread shamrocks sent from Ireland on the grave of the Irish-American airmail pilot William Blanchfield, a tradition that will reach its century mark next year, and for which we are planning a series of activities around, including, we hope to have an exhibit in the Sparks Heritage Museum. Our organization also has a tradition of public service, which has included in the past cleanups at Longford Park, which is, as all of you know, named after your sister city in Ireland, and whom we were honored to receive a proclamation from Mayor Martini a few years ago, celebrating your international relationship. I would also like to recognize one of our members, who we share an association with. You city council members, who I'm sure you will agree exemplifies public service. And that is Councilman Donald Abbott, who led an effort collecting 4,000 Valentines for seniors last month and is also one of our former Irish Persons of the Year. Our organization has inherited the Celtic Festival that used to be held at Bartley Ranch Park, and now it is known as the Northern Nevada Celtic Ceilidh, which will be held on May 20th in the Reno Brewery District. For more information about our organization, please visit irishnevada.org. And on a personal note, I would like to say it's very good to see Councilman Daw here at his post, and I'd like him to know that I was one of many in our community who is praying for his recovery. Thank you.
Guys, appreciate it. Yep.
Thank you for your time, Mayor and council members.
Okay, let's moving on to consent items. Anyone wishing to take a consent item, pull a consent item? If not, I'm looking for a motion. Mr. Anderson.
I move to approve consent items 8.1 and 8.2 as submitted.
Ms. Vanderwell.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
Aye.
We have 2 ayes on the phone. Motion carries unanimously. All right, 9.1, consideration, discussion, and possible, I didn't miss any there, did I? No, sir. 9.1, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of the mayor's recommended appointments to the Sparks Police Advisory Committee from the following pool of applicants listed in alphabetical order: Christine Garvey, Donald Lightfoot, Dwayne Mathis, Tristan McElhaney, and Geraldine Patelero. And on the chief's advice, I chose Tristan McElhaney and Geraldine Patelero. Is that how you say that? Close enough. I'll spell it if we need to. Mr. Manager.
Good afternoon, Mayor Lawson, members of the council. For the record, Neil Kreutz, your city manager. Mayor Lawson has essentially given the presentation. There's not much for me to do. You've got the recommended names in front of you, and we're asking for your support.
Any questions? Or if not, I'm looking for a vote or a motion. Mr. Dare.
Let's see if I can do better with the names here. Just kidding. I move to appoint Geraldine Petillero to the Sparks Police Advisory Committee Business Representative vacancy and Tristan McElhaney to the at-large vacancy, each with terms ending September 30th, 2023.
Mr. Anderson.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 9.2, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of the building official's appointment to the Building Code Board of Appeals from the following pool of applicants listed in alphabetical order: Mark DeWeese, Donald Mackey, Amy McQuarrie. Mark.
Afternoon, Mayor and council members. For the record, Mark Miranda, building official, City of Sparks Building Safety. We've got 2 vacancy on our Board of Appeals, and my recommendations are for Don Mackey, who's been a longtime architect in, actually his office is in Sparks, and also Mark DeWeese, which is, he works for Toll Brothers Builders. So they both have been on the board in prior terms, and so those are my recommendations.
Okay, any questions? If not, I'm looking for a motion. There's only 3 of you up here. Mr. Anderson.
I move to approve the appointment of Donald Mackey as the registered architect and Mark DeWeese as builder superintendent of building construction representatives to the Sparks Building Code Board of Appeals, each for a 2-year term ending March 31st, 2025.
Ms. Vanderwell.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
9.3, consideration, discussion, and possible approval to submit an application for a United States Department of Energy decarbonization of water resource recovery facilities grant to fund research for hydrothermal carbonization of biosolids at the Truckee Meadows I'm doing good today. Truckee Meadows Water Reclamation Facility in the amount of $2.5 million with a required not to exceed match of $246,093 with the City of Sparks share not to exceed $92,753. Casey.
All right, well, good afternoon, Mayor Lawson and members of council. For the record, my name is Casey Menser, and as of today, I am your treatment plant manager. I am here today seeking approval to apply for a grant from the Department of Energy, focusing on lowering the carbon footprint of wastewater treatment plants. Tumwarf, in collaboration with UNR and AECOM engineers, we wrote a concept paper about a technology that we could develop that could potentially lower the greenhouse gas emissions of our solids handling process at Tumwarf by 50%. After reviewing the proposal, the Department of Energy invited the team to submit a full application on this research. If awarded, Tumwarf will investigate a process known as hydrothermal carbonization, or HTC, with our research partners. HTC is anticipated to reduce the amount of biosolids hauled, lower chemical costs, and provide a number of other such benefits. This grant will fund a long-term benchtop scale study that will better develop the technology and advance the wastewater field. To be clear, that today we are asking for no money whatsoever. We are simply asking for the authority to apply. And if we are selected by the Department of Energy, then acceptance of the grant and commitment of the matching funds would then come before both the Sparks and Reno City Councils for approval. And to explain the grant, I'm gonna pass over the mic.
Good afternoon, Mayor Lawson, Council. Melissa Evans, Grants Administrator. I'm happy to be here today. As Casey noted, this project is in partnership with UNR's Civil and Chemical Engineering departments along with AECOM Engineering, and the organizations are providing a financial commitment to this research. So I'll break down the numbers and how that would affect us if we do indeed get the grant. So the required match is 20%, and UNR is going to come up with $253,907. AECOM Engineering has committed to $125,000. And if we are selected, Tumworth would be on the hook for $246,093 of the match. The cash contributions will be shared pro rata between the cities of Sparks and Reno based upon the current flow split to Tumworth, which means, this is the important part, if we do get accepted for this grant, the Sparks share will not exceed $92,753 over a 36-month project performance period. And then based upon the results of the research, staff will identify items that are of further benefit, such as the feasibility of upsizing to pilot scale testing and the costs associated with the next steps, if applicable. And then at that point, I will, along with Casey, look for other grant funding opportunities to support that project, as well as continue to partner with our existing partners. With that, do you have any questions?
Okay, questions from the council? Mr. Anderson.
Not a question. I just want to say thank you for pursuing this grant. And likewise, the way that you guys are looking beyond tomorrow, you're looking way out into the future to figure out how we can deal with some of the things that we're facing right now. And it's really cool when you see everything from chemicals and possibly reduction of trucking time and all these other things that cost so much for us to operate that facility. So well done, and thank you for working on the grant. I'm glad to have you on board. This is awesome.
Appreciate it.
Mr. Dare.
Yeah, and I also just want to commend in the sense of working as a region and pulling everyone together. I think that that's the wave of the future, especially grant money anyway. But also it says a lot about everyone wanting to work with us as we roll forward. I'm real interested to see where this fits in the schematic of the bigger picture we've talked about, but that's probably not a today conversation. But at some point, I'd love to kind of see how this all fits in. Thank you.
Okay. I went on a little tour today out at the Tumworth, and we're in good hands out there for sure. We got a lot of longtime employees that really love their jobs. You guys you're number one and number two, right? I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. All right. So with that bad dad joke, we'll looking for a motion. Christopher.
Sure. I move to approve submittal of an application for United States Department of Energy Decarbonization of Water Resource Recovery Facilities Grant to fund research for hydrothermal carbonization of biosolids at the Truckee Meadows Water Reclamation Facility in the amount of $2.5 million, with the required not to exceed match of $246,093, with City of Sparks share not to exceed $92,753.
Ms. Vanderwell.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. 9.4, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of a contract AC 5922 with Action Lawn and Landscape LLC for the landscape maintenance district's bid number 22/23-026 for initial 2-year term from April 1st, 2023 to March 31st, 2025 at a cost not to exceed $235,961.56 and 3-month mutually agreeable annual extensions not to exceed cost per year of $117,980.78 for the period from April 1, 2025 to March 31, 2028.
All right.
Brian.
Made it through. Good afternoon, Mayor, members of the council. Brian Kaysen, Capital Projects Manager. I wanted to start with just a little history of how this started. Back in the mid-1990s, the city entered into a landscape maintenance district agreement with 3 developers. Those 3 developers are outlined on the screen. The first one is the Mesa Meadows subdivision, and it's located out in North Sparks, just to the west of Sparks Boulevard and to the south of Los Altos Parkway. The second is the Promontory subdivision, and it is located just to the east of Vista Boulevard and to the south of Disc Drive, as you can see on the map. And then finally, Triple Crown subdivision straddles to the north and south of Los Altos Parkway and is between Vista Boulevard to the east and Sparks Boulevard to the west. The city collects a fee from homeowners within each of these subdivisions and is responsible for maintenance of the common area landscaping. Every 2 to 5 years, the city contracts with a third-party contractor for maintenance of these areas. This contract includes mowing, trimming, fertilization, weed and pest control, sidewalk clearing during snow events, and maintenance of the above-ground irrigation system. A $5,000 force account is included in each contract to address items outside of the contract that may arise throughout the year, such as replacement of damaged trees or replacement of irrigation valves. City staff conducts a monthly inspection of each area to ensure the contractor is adequately providing the services outlined in the contract. We did receive 2 bids, with the lowest responsive bid being Action Lawn and Landscape, with an annual cost to the city of $117,980.78. This is for an initial 2-year term that runs through March 31st of 2025, and the contract does permit 3 mutually agreeable annual extensions at the same annual rate that would run from April 1st, 2025 through March 31st, 2028. With that being the end of my presentation, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might
Okay,
have.
questions from the council? Mr. Dare.
In the past, we've had a lot of conversations about this area. And so I just, as an update, I mean, I've not heard any complaints, which is beautiful. And so I'm assuming that everything's been going very well in this last round?
Yes, it's been going very well, and several years ago, we basically started doing this monthly. But basically, we have one of our staff members run through the project with the contractor monthly and make sure that everything's looking good. And so far, so good. It's been looking great. They've been doing a great job, and it's doing well.
Very well. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? If not, I'm looking for a motion. Ms. Vanderwell.
I move to approve the contract AC-5922 with Action Lawn and Landscape LLC for landscape maintenance districts bid 22/23-026 for an initial two-year term from April 1st, 2023 to March 31st, 2025 at a cost not to exceed $235,961.56 and 3 mutually agreeable annual extensions at a not to exceed cost per year of $117,980.78 for the period from April 1st, 2025 to March 31st, 2028.
Mr. Dare.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Brian. 9.5, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of resolution number 3420, directing notice to the Washoe County Debt Management Commission of the City Council's proposal to issue general obligation limited tax fire station bonds, additionally secured by pledge revenues in an aggregate principal and amount not to exceed $15 million. Jeff.
All right, very good. Good afternoon, Mayor Lawson and members of the City Council. I am Jeff Kronk, your Chief Financial Officer for the record. If you recall, during last month's budget workshop, we received direction from you at that time to at least start the process of looking into financing the development of Fire Station number 6. So I took that direction away and looked at a couple of different options that we might consider, and settled on something I think that's going to provide us the most budget flexibility and finance flexibility, and allow us to issue any financing at the lowest cost, of issuance as possible. So the structure that I'm again proposing, and I want to emphasize it's a proposal. We're not settling on anything today. We certainly are going to have a couple of bites at this apple before we finalize everything, but this is just kind of step one. But the proposal I'm kind of settling on for your consideration is issuing general obligation bonds not to exceed $15 million that would mature after 20 years. That also are additionally have an additional secured pledge of a portion of the city's C-tax revenues, specifically 15% of those. The other structure of this would we would only pay interest only, kind of line up our debt service payments with our existing C-tax bonds that are scheduled to mature in fiscal 26, such that we'll on these new bonds, should we proceed this way, we'll only pay the interest only for the first couple of years, and then starting in fiscal 27, when our existing bonds roll off the books, we'll start paying those the principal and interest in its entirety. So in order to proceed with an issuance of general obligation bonds that have an additional secured pledge, similar to what I just mentioned, requires several steps for us to go through. So bear with me here a second while I get situated. Wow, this is really touchy. There we go. Is that it? Yeah, there we go. So those steps are really just outlined in this calendar for you, and it's embedded in the staff report today as well. The first step being today, and what we're providing for your consideration approval today is what's called a resolution of notice, and that would be to the Washoe County Debt Management Commission. That essentially would accomplish two things that are required by law in order to issue general obligation bonds. The first being, again, just as the name implies, we just have to give them notice of what our intent is, and this is our intent to issue general obligation bonds. The second piece of this resolution, and part of your agenda packet today, is that we would have to show to them our belief that the additional pledged revenues that we're attaching to these bonds are sufficient to provide the debt service coverage of the coverage of the debt service for the life of the outstanding bonds, so for all 20 years, of at least 1 times coverage. So what you'll see in your packet today and what we're going to present to the Debt Management Commission is a very conservative look in that we're showing, hey, even if our revenues our C-tax revenues don't increase at all and just remain flat for the next 20 years, and if we assume a relatively high interest rate according to what we see in today's market, we're going to have plenty of debt service coverage. So more than 1 times coverage that's required by law. We're hoping to achieve at least 3 to 4 or more times coverage. So that's what we need to show the Debt Management Commission. Our plan is to do that. Step 2, once we receive your authorization of today's resolution, step 2 would be to go to the Debt Management Commission's meeting. We're hoping for April 14th. That's a little bit different in the staff report, just as a heads up that is in your packet today. We were originally scheduling April 13th, but we're hearing back from them that day won't work well for them, so we're trying for the April 14th. So it's not a typo, but we're working on trying to settle on a date. But that does go to show that why I titled this slide as tentative timeline, because if for some reason we're not able to get on their agenda or that has to get pushed out, this whole timeline shifts. So, this next step is quite an important one for establishing what that timeline is. So moving along, once we get the resolution and get their approval from the Debt Management Commission, I'll come back to you for step 2, and you'll notice on this slide I just put some stars by what the council action items are. The second action item that we're going to ask you for will hopefully be on April 24th, which would be an approval of what's called a resolution of intent. So a little bit different than the resolution of notice that we're asking you to approve today. The resolution of intent is essentially notifying the public. And once we publish the notice of the resolution, that establishes and kicks off a 90-day petition period that were required by law to allow the citizens to essentially gather enough signatures and petition the council to essentially stop us, prevent us from issuing general obligation bonds. So that's a requirement in law. During that 90-day petition period, your third action that we're going to ask you to do is just hold a public hearing. So we're targeting June 12th to hold that public hearing. And again, this is kind of tentative, but that's what we're hoping to do right now. Once we clear that 90-day petition period, which should, again, if all things flow well, should end on July 27th. We'll come back to you at your August 14th meeting and seek what's called the bond ordinance. And that'll be the final action, and that is when we would actually lock in our structure. So up until that point, this is all going to be very tentative, so we're not settled on the amount. That's why we're asking for a not to exceed number, 15 million. It could be less than that. It can't be more, but it can be less than that. We're gonna lock in the period, and essentially what the bond ordinance does is you're authorizing me as your chief financial officer to go sell general obligation bonds. So once we get that, I would get that authorization. I would do that in about a week later from that time period, with the ultimate hope that we would close escrow around mid-September. So I put it on the calendar on or around September 9th. That's our goal. So just as a quick recap, what we're looking for you for today is just an approval of the resolution that's going to accomplish two things: just putting the Debt Management Commission on notice of our intent, and then showing them that we have enough revenue to cover the debt service from just the amount that we're seeking to pledge as an additional amount. And with that, that's the conclusion of my comments, but I'd be happy to answer any question you may have.
Question from the council. Mr. Dare.
Yeah, so we can't lock in on any rates until that 14th of August. That's our lock date. Is that how that works?
Not even the rates. So what you do lock in is the overall structure, but the rates are something that's going to be determined until the day of the sale.
It is, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that's just, we do this through a public bid process, and it's literally, we'll get hopefully dozens of different bids from various investors who are interested in our bonds, and their responsibility is to quote interest rate, premium, or a discount, however whatever the ultimate structure is, but that actually won't happen until we actually sell the bonds. We try to do it as close to that ordinance as possible, but it'll be about a week afterwards.
Okay, thank
so.
Okay, anyone else? All right, I'm looking for a motion. Ms. Vanderwell.
I move to approve resolution number 3420, directing notice to the Washoe County Debt Management Commission of the City Council's proposal to issue general obligation limited tax fire station bonds additionally secured by pledged revenues in an aggregate amount not to exceed $15 million.
Mr. Anderson.
I'll second the motion.
I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff. 9.6, consideration, discussion, of possible direction to city manager to initiate changes to Sparks Municipal Code Titles 2, Administration and Personnel, 7, Health and Welfare, and 20, Zoning Code, and any other applicable sections to clarify the process for appealing decisions of the administrative hearing officer for code violations relating to nuisances and land use. Mr. Drinkwater.
Excuse me. Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Michael Drinkwater, Community Services Director. I'm before you today seeking the council's direction for the city manager to have staff initiate a code amendment regarding the issues as the mayor just delineated. Please recall at the February 27th city council meeting, the mayor requested this item, but it is customary and policy that this requires a vote of the entire city council in order for the manager to initiate the actions, and I'm before you today seeking that vote. Just to run you through quickly what staff believes are the ambiguities in the code. Zoning violations are delineated in Title 20 of the Sparks Municipal Code. And in Title 20, a variety of different land uses and other items are called out as the restricted, prohibited, or allowed by code. In Title 20, it specifically says that violations of those ordinances are governed under an adjudication procedure in Title 7. And that walks us, there's a delineated procedure in Title VII that starts with the notice of violation, a time to abate, and then the violation, and then the administrative hearing officer, and it concludes with the landowner's right to appeal to this body. However, we also have in Title II a code enforcement procedure that is extremely similar, except that the appeal lands in municipal court. And inside Title II, it specifically calls out zoning violations as a particular type of violation that is governed under that procedure. So there are two independent procedures that are substantially similar, save for where the appeal is heard. Clouding it further, there's also Nevada Revised Statutes 268 and 278. Chapters 268 and 278 both have language that govern this procedure to some extent. Inherently, there is ambiguity in the Sparks Municipal Code regarding where what the proper appellant venue is for zoning code violations as well as nuisances. So we're before you today, as the mayor requested, seeking your direction to the manager to have staff initiate a code amendment to clarify what is a nuisance, what is a land use violation, and what is the appropriate procedure to adjudicate such violations within the Sparks Municipal Code. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions from the council? Okay, seeing none, I'm looking for a motion then. Mr. Dare.
I move to direct the city manager to initiate changes to Sparks Municipal Code Titles 2, Administration and Personnel, 7, Health and Welfare, and 20, Zoning Code, and any other applicable sections to clarify the process for appealing decisions of the administrative hearing officer for code violations relating to nuisances and land use.
Okay, Mr. Anderson.
I will second that.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Michael. 9.7, consideration, discussion, and possible direction of the city manager to present the city council the opportunity to act as an appellate body for a decision of the administrative hearing officer concerning a code violation at 501 Pyramid Way. Code enforcement case is incorrect in your program. Madam Clerk, do we have the correct number? Will you read it for me, please?
I will, Mr. Mayor. It is SCMP 22-00766.
Okay, Mr. Rundle.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Jim Rundle, City Planner, here to present on this item. I'll just give a quick background, if you will entertain that, Mr. Mayor. In February, Councilmember Vanderwell, you asked an item be brought back to the City Council to consider the appellant body for a code enforcement action. To an extent, this item goes as a sister item to the item you just considered from the director. In October, staff issued a notice of violation for a shipping container at 501 Pyramid Way. About a week later, an appeal was filed, and staff scheduled an administrative hearing. That administrative hearing occurred by an administrative hearings officer. That is a person that does not work for the city, but does these things in Reno and other jurisdictions to hear these types of items. At that hearing, the hearings officer identified that it was a violation to the municipal code and asked for that, ordered that, through an administrative order for that shipping container to be removed. Mr. Prue desired to appeal this decision as well. Staff identified the next process was to go to municipal court. And this is where our previous item comes into play. Through conversations with Mr. Prue and staff did direct him to appeal to the municipal court. However, scouring the municipal code and identifying that the Sparks Municipal Code does essentially delineate two paths of moving forward on an appeal, and the council has provided that direction, but those two are City Council and the municipal court. It's staff's opinion, and I think Mr. Prue has made it clear his request is to come in front of the City Council on appeal for this item, and thereby staff recommends the City Council honor the request and act as the appellant body for this administrative order. And that concludes my presentation, and I'm here for any questions.
Question from the council. On the phone?
None, or other title, have any? No, good.
Okay. Well, then with that, I'm looking for a motion. Ms. Vanderwell.
I move to direct the city manager to present the city council the opportunity to act as the appellant body for a decision of the administrative hearing officer concerning a code violation at 501 Pyramid Way, code enforcement case hashtag SCMP22-00766.
Mr. Anderson.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Mr. Kreutz.
Question for Mr. Rundle. Do we want to set a date specific as part of this item, or where are we in that regard?
Thank you for the question. Councilmember Vanderwell, you made the motion. If you would like to make that date specific, we could do the second meeting in April. Sorry, I don't know the date of that.
Okay, April 24th.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So I'll amend my motion to ask for an agenda item be attached to this item for the April 24th city council meeting. Thank you.
Mr. Anderson.
And I will accept that amendment.
Okay, I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
Aye. Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. All right, Madam Clerk, Planning and Zoning Public Hearings and Action Items 11.1, second reading.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is second reading, public hearing, consideration, discussion, and possible adoption of Bill Number 2808, an ordinance approving a development agreement with the Chalet LLC regarding real property located at 3550 and 3650 Whittakin Road in Sparks, Nevada. APNs 026-34113, 026-34151, and 026-34155. Agreeing pursuant to NRS 278.360 to provide the Chalets LLC an additional 4 years to present a final map to City Council.
Okay,
Just pulling up a vicinity map to get everybody situated, but Mr. Mayor, members of council, Brandon Sendall, Senior Assistant City Attorney for the record. The item before you is regarding a proposed development agreement between the City of Sparks and the Chalets LLC, the owner of 3 parcels at 3550 and 3650 Wedekind. We have a vicinity map up there. It's just in between Sullivan Lane and El Rancho on the south end of, or the south side of Wedekind. What this would do is extend the timeline under state law for the filing of a final map after an approved tentative map. Under state law, after a tentative map for subdivision of land is approved, the landowner has 4 years to submit to the governing body a final map. However, there is a exception to that default rule under state law that allows city councils and county commissions to grant extensions to files. So, but that has to be done via a development agreement. That's what's being proposed for you today. So just a little background. The city council did approve a tentative map for these 3 parcels in late 2018. The city staff and developer got into a disagreement as to whether a final map was submitted in time. An appeal was timely filed, and the city staff and the appellant is here along with their legal counsel agreed, why don't we just exercise this option that's allowed under state law to give a little more time to present a final map. With that, we believe it's a reasonable and an appropriate resolution to the issue, and we recommend adoption of the bill and ultimately of the development agreement.
okay, questions from the council? Ms. Vanderwell.
I don't have any questions, but I'd like to say, I'd like to thank the city attorney's office and also the planning department for working with this developer to get to this point. I greatly appreciate everybody working together to come to this point.
Okay, anyone else? All right, with that, I'm looking for a motion. Ms. Vanderwell.
I move to approve Bill Number 2808, an ordinance approving a development agreement.
Sorry.
Sorry, oops.
I did it again. It's even circled. This is a public hearing. Anyone in the public wishes to speak at this time? Seeing none, back. Let's go. That's one of my downfalls. I can't remember public comment.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to approve Bill number 2808, an ordinance approving a development agreement with the Chalets LLC regarding real property located at 3550 and 3650 Whittaken Road in Sparks, Nevada, APN 026-341-13, 026-341-51, and 026-341-55, agreeing to provide the Chalets LLC an additional 4 years to present a final map to City Council.
Mr. Dare.
I'll second that.
I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. All right, with that, we'll move on to public comment. Anyone in the public wishing to comment? I don't see anyone, so we'll bring it back from announcements from the mayor, city council, city manager. Mr. Manager, you have anything?
No, sir.
City council,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Dare?
Yeah, I just want to say on behalf of Charlene, Ms. Bybee, and Mr. Abbott, back in DC, sometimes people may wonder what we do when we travel or whatever. They'll be meeting with our Congress and our senators, and they advocate. And when we go on these trips, we advocate. And so Godspeed to you, and hope you get back safe. But I wish I could be there with you. But these are important meetings and stuff, so thank you for going. And I also want to thank everyone for this was a big weekend at the Vietnam, honoring our Vietnam veterans, and thank you for coming on out to all of our electeds that are here and everybody. But it was a fantastic day, and I know our Vietnam veterans were very honored. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Anyone on the phone? Yes, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just wanted to let everyone know that tomorrow, Councilman Abbott and I will be actually on the Hill meeting with most of our congressional delegation. So we head out first thing in the morning with the Porter Group guiding us to meet our two senators, two of our Congress members, and we'll be back there bringing some of the issues that NLC has asked us to stress, and then our local priorities, and also thank you for ARPA funding and kind of letting them know what we've done or are doing with that funding and what a difference it's making to our residents. So tomorrow we're going to end the landfill, Mr. Mayor. We're back there pushing hard, and hope to make you all proud, and we'll come back with hopefully after a good session. But it's been good. 3,000 delegates here, biggest ever.
Wow.
Did you want to?
Ditto to all that. Thank you guys for holding it down back in Sparks, and to all the presenters and everyone. Sorry we missed you today, and congratulations to our chiefs.
Yeah, congrats.
Hey, anyone else? All right, and if you weren't there on Saturday at the Nevada Veteran Memorial Plaza, what a great day. What a great day to fill up your heart with joy and see some great people that, as the sign says, some gave, how's that say? Read it for me.
All gave some, and some gave all.
There we go, thank you. And those folks that are there were very emotional. It was very good day in my mind. So thank you for you guys putting that on. All right, with that, we're on to my favorite subject, adjourned.